My wife asked for the divorce and calmly listed what she wanted: the house, the accounts, the cars. Then she added one line that froze the room. "I don't want the child." I didn't argue. I nodded and signed. As the papers slid across the table, her lawyer stopped breathing for a second. "I'm 36, married for 8 years, father to a 5-year-old daughter, and I just learned that some people will discard anything that doesn't fit their new life plan." We met in our late 20s. She was ambitious, driven, climbing the corporate ladder fast. I admired that about her. We got married after 2 years of dating. Had our daughter 3 years into the marriage. Everything seemed normal. Good even. Or maybe I was just blind to what was building beneath the surface. The problem started about a year ago. She became distant, started working late more often, took business trips that seemed longer than necessary, came home exhausted but somehow energized by something I couldn't identify. I asked if everything was okay. She said she was stressed, said work was demanding, said I wouldn't understand because my career wasn't as high pressure as hers. I let it go, took on more responsibilities at home, did more with our daughter, school pickups, homework, dinner, bedtime. She'd come home at 8 or 9, eat whatever I'd saved for her, then disappear into her home office for another 2 hours. The distance between us grew from inches to miles while we still lived under the same roof. 3 months ago, she told me she wanted a divorce. Just like that. Over breakfast on a Saturday. Our daughter was at her grandmother's house for the weekend. The timing wasn't coincidental. "I want a divorce." I put down my coffee, felt it go cold in my hand. "What?" "I'm not happy. Haven't been for a while. I want out." "Can we talk about this? Try counseling?" "No, I've made up my mind. I've already spoken to a lawyer." "You spoke to a lawyer before talking to me?" "I needed to know my options." "Your options, right." She handed me a business card. Her lawyer. Told me to get my own. Said we could handle this civilly. Like we were negotiating a business contract instead of ending a marriage. Like our daughter was an asset to be divided rather than a human being who'd lose her family. I hired a lawyer that week. Good one. Came recommended by a friend who'd gone through a nasty divorce. He told me to document everything. Financial records, communications, daily routines with our daughter. Every moment I spent being the parent she'd stopped being. Everything. 2 months of back and forth. Her lawyer sending proposals. My lawyer countering. Fighting over assets we'd built together. Over the house we'd bought. Over retirement accounts and savings and cars. Each email felt like another cut. Another piece of our life being divided and distributed. Then came the mediation meeting. Last week. Both of us. Both lawyers. A mediator. Conference room downtown. Corporate. Cold. Fitting for what was about to happen. We sat across from each other. Her lawyer laid out her demands. She wanted the house. Made sense, she said. It was in a good school district. She wanted the primary savings account, the investment portfolio, both cars. She'd give me the older one, the one with 150,000 miles that barely started on cold mornings. I listened, didn't interrupt. My lawyer was taking notes, making marks on his copy of her proposals, underlining things, circling numbers, building our counter-argument point by point. Then she said it, the words that changed everything. "And I don't want custody. He can have full custody. I don't want the child." The room went quiet. The mediator looked up from her notes. My lawyer stopped writing mid-word. Her lawyer's face went pale. Even the clock on the wall seemed to stop ticking. The air itself felt different, heavier. I stared at her. "You don't want our daughter?" "No. I'm starting a new position. It requires travel, long hours. I can't be a single parent and do this job. You're better with her anyway." "She's 5 years old." "I know how old she is. She's your daughter." "I'm aware, but I'm being realistic. I can't give her the attention she needs. You can. You already do most of the parenting anyway. Because you're never home." "Exactly. And I won't be home more with this new job. So it makes sense for you to have full custody. It's the logical choice. Her lawyer leaned forward, cleared his throat. Perhaps we should take a break. Discuss this privately. There's nothing to discuss, she said. I've thought about this extensively. This is what I want. This is what makes sense for everyone. I looked at my lawyer. He was staring at her like she'd just confessed to a crime, like he couldn't believe what he was hearing from a mother about her own child. Then he looked at me, raised his eyebrows slightly. I knew what he was thinking. This changed everything. Every calculation, every strategy, every negotiation point. Fine, I said. Everyone looked at me. The mediator's pen froze. Her lawyer's mouth opened slightly. Even my ex-wife looked surprised. Fine? Yes, I'll take full custody. Sole custody, actually. No visitation schedule unless she specifically requests it. Her lawyer started to speak. My client should maintain some... Does your client want custody? I asked. Does she want our daughter? He looked at her. She shook her head without hesitation. Then I'll take full custody. Sole legal and physical custody. She can have supervised visitation if she wants it, on my terms, when I decide it's appropriate. My lawyer was typing rapidly on his laptop, making changes to the custody agreement in real time, his fingers flying across the keys, restructuring everything. And in exchange, I continued, I want the house. I want the primary savings account. I want the better car. She can have the investment portfolio and the old car. Her lawyer started to object. That's not fair, I interrupted. She's giving up custody of her child, completely, voluntarily. That changes everything. Every calculation you made is worthless now. My lawyer slid a revised document across the table. My client is willing to sign today, right now. If your client agrees to these terms, no more negotiation, no more back and forth. This is the offer. I watched her read it, saw her eyes scanning the pages, saw her calculating, weighing her new job against her daughter, against the house, against everything, watching her decide what mattered more. She signed, just like that, picked up the pen and signed, initialed every page, didn't hesitate, didn't cry, didn't look at me, didn't ask to see our daughter one last time before making this permanent. As the papers slid across the table to her lawyer, he stopped breathing for a second. Actually stopped. His chest didn't move. His face went white. He looked at his client like he didn't recognize her, like the person sitting next to him was a stranger wearing his client's face. Are you certain? He asked her. His voice was quiet, almost pleading. Yes. You understand what you're agreeing to? This is permanent. This isn't something you can easily undo. I can read. Yes, I'm certain. I signed my copies. My lawyer signed as witness. The mediator signed with a disapproving look she didn't try to hide. Done. Finished. 8 years ended in a conference room on a Tuesday afternoon. Update 1. The divorce was finalized 3 weeks later. Fast for a divorce. But when both parties agree and there's no custody battle, things move quickly. No judge wants to drag out something both people want to end. I kept the house, the savings, the car, got sole custody of our daughter. She got the investment portfolio, the old car, her freedom, everything she said she wanted. She moved out that weekend, packed her things while our daughter was at school. I made sure of that. Didn't want her seeing her mother leave. Didn't want to explain why mommy was taking her clothes but not taking us. Didn't want that memory burned into her mind. I told our daughter that night. Sat her down after dinner. Tried to find words that wouldn't break her. Searched for language that would make sense to a 5-year-old about why her mother chose to leave. Mommy and I are going to live in different houses now. Why? Because sometimes grown-ups need different things. But you're going to stay here with me, in your room, with all your toys. When is Mommy coming back? She's not coming back to live here, but you can still see her sometimes. When? When she has time. She has a new job that keeps her very busy. Doesn't she want to see me? That question destroyed me. shattered every defense I'd built. Of course she does. She's just very busy with work. My daughter cried, asked why her mommy didn't love her anymore. I held her and lied. Told her that her mommy loved her very much, that sometimes adults made complicated decisions, that none of this was her fault, knowing she wouldn't believe it, knowing she'd carry this. She cried herself to sleep that night. I stayed in her room, sat in the chair by her bed, watched her sleep, wondered what kind of person abandons their child for a job, wondered how I'd missed the signs that the woman I married was capable of this. My ex-wife texted the next morning. Is she okay? No, she's not okay. She thinks you don't love her. I do love her. This is just better for everyone. Better for you, you mean? Don't make this harder than it needs to be. I'm not making anything hard. You're the one who walked away. She didn't respond, didn't text back, nothing, just silence. The same silence our daughter would grow up with. Update 2. 2 weeks after she moved out, I found out why she really wanted the divorce, why she'd been working late, why she'd been so eager to give up custody. The truth I'd suspected, but hadn't wanted to believe. A mutual friend called me, asked if I knew. I said knew what. She told me my ex-wife had been seeing someone from work for over a year. Her boss, the one giving her the promotion, the one she was traveling with, the reason for all those late nights and business trips. I thought you knew, my friend said. I thought that's why you divorced. No, I didn't know. She just said she wasn't happy. I'm sorry. I assumed you knew. Everyone at her company knows. They've been pretty open about it since you separated. I hung up, sat there processing, the late nights, the business trips, the distance. All of it made sense now. She hadn't fallen out of love with our marriage. She'd fallen into something else, someone else, and our daughter was just collateral damage. I called my lawyer, told him what I'd learned. He was quiet for a long moment. Does this change anything? I asked. Legally? No. You're divorced. Custody is settled. Financially, you got the better deal because you took custody. But personally? Yeah, it explains a lot. Can I use this to modify anything? Modify what? You got the house, the savings, full custody. What else do you want? He was right. I'd gotten everything that mattered. The house for our daughter, the savings to support her, full custody to protect her. My ex-wife had traded all of it for a promotion and a relationship, had calculated the value of her daughter against her new life and decided her daughter wasn't worth keeping. But I wanted her to face consequences, wanted people to know what she'd done, not just the affair, but abandoning our daughter, choosing a man over her own child. Can I tell people about her giving up custody? You can tell whoever you want. It's not sealed. It's public record. The question is whether you should. Why shouldn't I? Because your daughter will grow up. We'll ask questions. We'll Google her mother someday. Do you want her to find out her mother gave her up by reading about it online? By seeing strangers discuss it? He was right. Again. This wasn't about revenge. It was about protecting my daughter. About making sure she had the best life possible despite her mother's choices. About not making this worse than it already was. Update 3. A month after the divorce, my ex-wife's mother called me, my former mother-in-law. She was crying, voice breaking every few words. Is it true? Did she really give up custody? Yes. Why? Why would she do that? You'd have to ask her. I did. She won't talk to me. Says it's none of my business, but that's my granddaughter. How is this not my business? I don't know what to tell you. She made her choice. She explained her reasons in mediation, new job, travel, long hours, said she couldn't balance it. Can I still see her, my granddaughter? Please, I can't lose her too. Of course. You're welcome anytime. You didn't divorce us. She did. You're still her grandmother. She came over that weekend, brought presents for our daughter, played with her for hours, read her favorite books, built elaborate block towers that our daughter knocked down with delight. cried when she put her to bed. "I don't understand," she said to me after. Her hands were shaking. "I raised her better than this. How does a mother just walk away?" I've been asking myself the same thing every night. Her father and I are devastated. We tried to talk to her. She won't listen, says we're being dramatic, that plenty of fathers have full custody, that it's not different just because she's the mother. Except it is different, because she chose this. She chose her career over her daughter, made a calculation and decided custody wasn't worth the house and the savings account. I know, and I'll never forgive her for it, never. She's my daughter, but I don't recognize her anymore. She left that night, hugged me at the door, told me I was a good father, that our daughter was lucky to have me. I didn't feel lucky, just sad that my daughter had to grow up with a mother who didn't choose her, who put her in the loss column of a divorce negotiation. Update 4. 3 months post-divorce, I ran into her at a coffee shop. She was with him, her boss, the reason for everything. The person she'd calculated was worth more than her marriage and her daughter. She saw me, looked uncomfortable. I was with our daughter. She was holding my hand, asking for a cookie from the display case, pointing at the one with pink frosting. "Hi," my ex-wife said. "Hi. How are you?" "Fine. We're fine." She looked down at our daughter. "Hi, sweetheart. Remember me?" Our daughter hid behind my leg, didn't respond, gripped my hand tighter. "She's gotten so big," my ex-wife said, like she was commenting on a neighbor's child, someone else's daughter. "Yeah, kids do that, especially in 3 months. Can I talk to her? For a minute?" I looked down at our daughter. She was shaking her head, clinging to my leg, making herself small. "I don't think she wants to right now." "Please. I'm her mother." "You gave up custody. You don't get to demand time whenever it's convenient for you." Her boss stepped forward. "Hey man, don't make this difficult. She's just trying to say hello to her daughter." "Don't make this difficult? You're the one who—" I stopped, looked down at my daughter. She was scared, confused. This wasn't the time or place, not in a coffee shop, not with her watching. "We're leaving," I said. I picked up our daughter, left without ordering, heard my ex-wife calling after me, kept walking, got to the car, buckled our daughter into her seat. Her hands were still shaking. In the car, my daughter asked, "Why doesn't Mommy live with us?" "Because she chose to live somewhere else, with different people, in a different life." "Did I do something bad?" "No, you didn't do anything. This isn't about you. This is about her making choices that don't include us." "Will she ever come back?" "I don't know, sweetheart. I don't know. But you'll always have me. Always." Update 5. 6 months after the divorce, I got a letter from my ex-wife's lawyer. She wanted to modify the custody arrangement, wanted visitation rights, wanted to see our daughter 2 weekends a month, like she could just change her mind when it became convenient again. I called my lawyer. "Can she do this?" "She can ask. Doesn't mean she'll get it. Courts don't like changing custody arrangements when they're working, and you have sole custody. She gave that up voluntarily, in front of witnesses, with her own lawyer advising her. So what do I do? You can agree to voluntary visitation on your terms, or you can make her go to court and fight for it, which will cost her money and probably won't work. Judges don't look kindly on parents who give up custody then want it back." I thought about it, about my daughter, about what was best for her, not for me, not for my ex-wife, not for anyone else, for our daughter who was still asking why Mommy left. Tell her lawyer she can have supervised visitation, 1 Saturday afternoon a month, 2 hours, at a neutral location, my choice of supervisor. That's pretty restrictive. She gave up custody, voluntarily. She doesn't get to waltz back in whenever she's ready. She has to prove she's committed, that she won't disappear again when it's inconvenient. The lawyer relayed my terms. Her lawyer pushed back, said it was too restrictive, that his client had rights. My lawyer reminded him that his client had voluntarily given up those rights. had signed papers explicitly stating she didn't want custody, that she couldn't handle being a parent. They agreed. One Saturday afternoon, a month, 2 hours, supervised by my mother, at a park near my house, limited, controlled, safe for my daughter. The first visit was awkward. My ex-wife showed up 20 minutes late, brought expensive toys like she could buy back our daughter's affection, American Girl dolls, fancy art supplies, things she'd never shown interest in before. Our daughter barely spoke to her, stayed close to my mother, kept asking when she could go home. After 2 hours, my mother brought her back. That was painful to watch. How was she? Your ex? Desperate, trying too hard, overcompensating? Your daughter? Scared? Confused? She doesn't know this person anymore. It's been too long. Should I stop the visits? No. Your daughter needs to decide for herself what relationship she wants with her mother, but she needs time, and her mother needs to earn it every single visit. Final update. It's been a year since the divorce. A year since my wife sat in that conference room and said she didn't want our daughter. A year since her lawyer stopped breathing when he realized what she'd signed away. The supervised visits continue. Once a month, 2 hours. My ex-wife shows up, usually on time now, brings gifts, tries to connect with a daughter who barely knows her, who calls her by her first name instead of mommy. Sometimes our daughter asks about her between visits, sometimes she doesn't. I never push it, never force it. Let her process this at her own pace. My ex-wife got her promotion, travels constantly, lives with her boss in a condo downtown, posted pictures on social media of fancy dinners, vacations to places our daughter will never see with her. Her new life that doesn't include space for a 5-year-old. That was never designed to include one. Her parents still visit regularly, every week. They've become a constant in our daughter's life. Fill the gap their daughter left. They apologize constantly. I tell them they don't need to. They didn't abandon their granddaughter. She did. Their daughter made her choice, and they're trying to mitigate the damage. People ask me how I'm doing, if I'm dating, if I'm angry, if I hate her. I tell them I'm focused on my daughter, on making sure she knows she's loved, that her mother's choices aren't her fault, that she's worth more than any job or relationship or promotion, that being abandoned doesn't define her value. The truth is, I stopped being angry months ago. Anger requires caring, and I don't care about my ex-wife anymore. She showed me exactly who she is, showed everyone who she is, and I'm grateful. Grateful she revealed it now instead of 10 years from now. Grateful I got full custody before she could do more damage. Grateful my daughter is safe with me instead of being abandoned piece by piece over years. When the papers slid across that table and her lawyer stopped breathing, it was because he realized what she'd done, what she'd given up. Not just custody, but any moral high ground, any sympathy, any claim to being a good person who made a hard choice. She'd revealed herself completely in 4 words. I don't want the child. She'd traded her daughter for a promotion, and everyone in that room knew it, knew she'd live with that choice for the rest of her life, knew she'd have to explain it to people, to future partners who'd wonder what kind of mother she was, to our daughter when she's old enough to ask why, when she's old enough to read the divorce papers and see those words in black and white. I didn't argue because I didn't need to. She'd already destroyed herself with her own words. 4 words that defined her completely. 4 words that showed everyone exactly what mattered to her, what she valued and what she didn't. I nodded and signed because I was getting exactly what I wanted. My daughter, safe, with me, away from someone who saw her as an inconvenience, as something to be traded away for a better car and a bigger paycheck. And as those papers slid across the table and her lawyer's face went white, I knew I'd won. Not because I'd beaten her in the divorce, not because I'd gotten the better financial deal, but because I'd saved my daughter from growing up with a mother who didn't choose her, who'd made her feel unwanted before she was old enough to understand why. Some victories aren't about revenge, they're about protection, about making sure the people you love are safe from the people who claim to love them but don't know how, who calculate love like a business transaction and always find it wanting. My daughter is safe now, loved, chosen, every single day, and that's all that matters. That's everything that matters. The house, the savings, the custody arrangement, all of it was just paperwork. What matters is that she knows, without question, that she's wanted, that she's worth keeping, that someone chose her completely and without hesitation, that her father will never trade her for anything.